It's been a long time, but now finally here is a new video on my channel and now another soundtrack review. And this time I'm going to review the soundtrack, or better to say, the score of Madagascar 3: Europe's Most Wanted. Yes, I have the complete score of Madagascar 3, and you don't get that normal to buy, but one YouTuber has uploaded the whole Madagascar 3 complete score. I will link you the playlist in the description, and with that I have the complete score to Madagascar 3, and so you can have the full, complete soundtrack experience with this video. So join me on this soundtrack journey of a marvelous and great soundtrack, mostly composed by Hans Zimmer. You already hear in the opening it has this African sound, what very well fits, because there was where we left off France. And yes, there of course the movie starts in Africa. And yes, then of course we have the scene with the bad dream. And then they have this great New York City surprise, where we also have a very great music and another very great variation of the well-known Madagascar theme. I love this theme. This Madagascar theme is in every movie, and it just always just has this feeling you just have to enjoy this great Madagascar theme. And then of course we have this a bit nostalgia music for when they just remember how it was in the zoo, and also the viewer just has, now it has been a long time when we last saw the zoo in the first Madagascar movie, and they still want to return, and you just feel these emotions that the animals have in this moment. And this music is so beautiful and just shows it so well. And just I also think I think the movie could have made it a bit more emotional. Also when Alex cries at this moment, it seems a bit like, okay, this is not really emotional, but the music rescues us. I really think one of the best things about this movie is the music. That gives it an emotional depth. Even if it isn't presented so good, the music rescues us, I think. And that is something I think that is very great, and something where we have to thank the music and the genius of Hans Zimmer and his partners on the score. We have also here's a piece of Junkie XL, and there it is a bit more modern and so on, but it also underlines the funny moment when then we see the penguins in Monte Carlo, so it also fits cool. And yes, it just fits to the Madagascar series, which is also a bit like cool and funny, and yes. And then we have this great main title. Yes, all this music you would never hear on the original soundtrack, so I am very thankful to have the complete score. It is awesome. Yes, and yes, we want to move on. I won't play some tracks where King Julian sings or so on. I think this is nothing special, but still, yes. And then they also go to Monte Carlo, of course, and just they plan something, and I'm gonna lead. And I love this the line when Gloria says, "No, I'm gonna lead," and then she steps in, and then whoosh, they all fall down. I think this is so funny, just when then she says, "Now I have the commando," and yes, I just love Gloria for this. I think she and Merman are the best characters still from the 4. Yes, and yes, there we also have a great action music also. Then when they are in the casino, there's also a collaboration of Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. They all made this action-packed tracks together. And that is very great, fun music, I think. And it is very like, you just like to hear this action music with, yes, it just is very cool to listen to. Yes, you just go with this action music and a bit you move, and yes, it is just very cool action music. And yes, there of course we have this funny little short scene when King Julian dances to the music of Wannabe. Well, but yes, and then the great thing I also think is so great about this score is the Dubois theme, the villain theme, and it appears several times and it's just so cool and so just, it is just so crazy, and I love this craziness of Dubois is presented in this theme so well, because it is something like you can make great action music with this theme and still also make it so crazy. It just sounds so, this theme, like the character itself, sounds so over the top that it just fits so very well. Just this craziness of her. And then we return to this cool action music, and then of course also when then they have this luxury assault urban recreation vehicle, or however you spell it out, that is just the name of the track, and I think that is the name of this car from the Penguins. It is also so over the top with this, what the Penguins make, and that also says the music, how over the top this is, but that makes it also funny. And of course that you go with this cool action scene, and really great is of course also the music when then finally they have this Monte Carlo chase. The dramatic entrance of Dubois. You just hear this craziness in the instrument that is used for her. I think it is made very great and very clever with this music. Just that it is also so funny just to go with this. And then I just love all these action-packed tracks when they have this chase, when Dubois chases them. And on the original soundtrack you hear a bit of it, but really much material is really missing on the original soundtrack. And here's now a part I really love about this action-packed chase. I just go with this music. I don't know how you feel. Tell me in the comments how you feel about this music. But I just think it is so awesome and cool with this great action and this intense music and everything. It is just very, very cool. I just love it. It is also over the top and still so much action, and yes, it is just very awesome, I think. You just hear so well how much over the top this whole chase is, just with this. It is just so, just shows how crazy this woman is, and yes, it is so cool. You just have to go with it, don't you? I just like this action-packed music, and it's just so cool. It is just so much enjoyable, this music. I have very much joy with this music, and tell me in the comments if you also have this. Yes, it is so crazy and everything. I just love all this craziness of everything, and yes, that is just awesome action music for a great chase. This whole chase scene I think is very awesome. Just like you just love to see this this big chase. I also love it that this chase is so long. It is not this short 2-minute chase or something like in the Disney classic 101 Dalmatians, what is awesome, but still I just love that this chase is really so long. I just love the length of this chase. It is just so cool. This whole chase with the wow, how crazy she is, and that she overlives everything, survives everything, and then just is so crazy and she's just so funny, I think. And then this whole great chase that is so over the top, and then at the end when they are in this airplane, I would say, and then Fly and Dubois goes through all these buildings and then hangs again on, and that is just so awesome and crazy of her. I think it is just so funny, and this whole music underlines how crazy Dubois is and how much action this chase is. Isn't that awesome action music? I just really love this, and I know I repeated myself much with the craziness and with the action, and I know, but I just want that you hear all of this action music, and so I fill it with a few words of me. And yes, I just want you to give you the full great soundtrack experience and letting you hear many of this great and awesome music, especially because I think the Madagascar 3 score, there I will have not so much copyright problems, at least I hope, so that this video is also available for all of you, and then I can also, of course, let you hear much of this great music. Yes, I think this is very, very enjoyable music. Then, now let's come to its other part. We hear the sad theme again, and I just love this theme. It is just so, they now think, okay, we can't go home. And this theme is just always the theme for their journey. I think this is so interesting to analyze, because all this journey thing, this theme we have in all parts, and now that they just say, we gotta go home, and then we have this theme, it just shows like this journey, this they yearn for the zoo. They really yearn for this. They have this, we want to get back there, and this journey theme just shows it so well. But in the end, this theme stands also for that they realize what they really want, and that this journey is just like at the end. But when we come to the scene, I will say it again, but yes. Then we have again more something like action music, and yes, that is also very awesome. And yes, there's also this emotion of this journey, and then also we have then this theme just again, which in my opinion then shows just something like this is where the journey now goes. It goes more. Now they are on the circus, and that is also a important point for the whole Madagascar story. Oh my god, this is so great music. It is so emotional and touching, I think. And it's just, in some way, in this scene just shows this turning point. They are now in the circus, and in the end, that is where they belong, and not the zoo. And just this journey theme, again, shows it. Something like they're best friends. It doesn't matter where you are, just that you are together. And that is just like, and the zoo separates them a bit with the cages, and that is also what they later realize. But also this just, again, this theme appears then because of this, just like underlining the message of the whole Madagascar story. So yes, I just love it that they also use then this theme again. And yes, it is just so cool. And then we have also the Vitaly theme. And I also think that is also very cool. Now we have a new theme for this tiger, who is also a quite emotional or deep background story, and I also like just that. This theme is also very awesome and also a bit epic, and yes, I also like it that they add this chorus to this theme. That gives him also something like you take him seriously with that this chorus then appears, I think. And it also makes at the same time it a bit funny. And of course then also when Julian meets Sonja the bear, there we hear music from Enya, or how she is spelled. That is just music taken from somewhere else. But I just called this track Julian Falls in Love, and in real it is called Watermark. Just if you want to know where does this beautiful music come from when he falls in love with Sonja, it is from Enya, and it is called Watermark. But if you still don't get it, then ask me in the comments. I will then tell you what this music is, how the title is and everything. And now let's go on to the original score of this movie. Again, we have something with Dubois when then she tracks the Zoosters, and I also love that we have another variation of her theme, and I just also love this with the craziness again. I really love all variations of her theme, I really have to say that. That is Backstage Row, and that is just when they are just shortly before the bad performance appears, just I would say. And I just like this music, you also go with this music, and yes, so it is also very cool. And yes, we have also a Gia theme, but that is just the song Love Always Comes as a Surprise, and there you will also hear a bit of it. Okay, now I think in this track you won't hear this theme so well, so in other parts of the soundtrack I will let you hear more of this theme. Yes, and then we have again music when we see again Dubois, who then steals these motorcycles, and that is also a funny scene, and just then also it gets a bit creepy, a bit crazy, and then this action with Dubois, and then we have also a very interesting, again, variation of her theme, and I just love all these variations. Yes, there we have it again, and I just like this theme. And then we have music for the bad performance, of course, but that is also classical music, I think. As far as I know, this is classical music. And then we have also music with the Italian police and when Dubois escapes. And okay, now we have heard much of Dubois' theme, now let's move on. And we have also watched great and also a bit emotional music when Alex goes away, when he has this accident, and this makes a trapeze performance in some way over the train. And I also like this music. It is also a bit like, wow, emotional, and it just also shows the twist at the end that they belong to the circus and not to the zoo. Yes, and I just also like this, something like, it again shows the thing with the journey theme, this journey theme, and now also appears there because it also wants to show a bit of the twist that they belong to the circus and not to the zoo. And I just always like to say that just because I think it's so interesting then to analyze this journey theme. And for me, I would really call it journey theme. But in the first place, I think it is called Zoosters Breakout. But you will find it if you write Madagascar soundtrack or anything, then you will directly find the original when the theme first appears in the first movie. So yes. And then we have a great music, Circus Saragossa, Vitaly's story. The story of Vitaly. And I also like this music. You will hear his theme better. It just first underlines how famous he first was, and that he had this big success and everything is gigantic, and wow, this is amazing that he can this impossible thing. And this music just underlines it very, very great. And I also just love this theme to hear it. It is so enjoyable, and also a bit this emotions you hear in this. And then of course later also the tragic that goes with everything of this. And yes, now soon you will hear this. You just hear the music, of course, when you see the hoop always gets smaller, and then we come to the climax when it is just like a little ring, and then you should light the hoop on fire, and that is the big mistake that also then the music says. And this music is also so awesome and great, action-packed and everything, and also very emotional. Now maybe you have heard more of the Vitaly theme. I just hope that you can get a good soundtrack experience. Tell me in the videos if you have in the comments I mean, if you have a good soundtrack experience. How do you like this video? But we come later to this ending sentence. Now we still have some music to go through. And yes, I just hope you have the same joy with this soundtrack journey as I have. Again, this journey theme underlining, now we have a new plan for the circus, and it just we always hear this theme just like underlining, again, this journey goes to the circus and everything. I just like you can analyze it, why they always use this theme so often in the movies. That is just the reason, I think, with the journey thing. And then we have a variation of the famous Edward Elgar, or how he is called, theme with Pomp and Circumstance, and then just let's move on a bit to make it not too long, to the track Cannonball. That is just when they then are training in some way for the circus, and then just Stefano wants to go to the cannon and just wants to fly, and then Martin goes after him and so on. This whole music is also a bit, has this emotions and this great theme, a bit just like also showing the passion, and just that this is the right way for them, where they have the passion and where is the right place for the four animals, the circus again. And I also just like this music. It is also this excitement in the music and this emotions also a bit, and yes, I just like that. And then of course we'll also have the music when Martin flies through the air and has this great passion feeling. Yeah, it's just very beautiful music. I just also just like this music very well, where it's just so beautiful and just shows how much fun he also has with this. Just again, a bit showing that this is the direction where they are going, that there is their passion in this circus. There we now have also the theme of Gia, and also a bit of this love always comes as a surprise. Maybe someone can recognize the melody of this song. Yes, and then we have also Junkie XL music when Merman goes over the sail. Just a bit something like party music and something, not something special for soundtracks, but still cool and fun to listen to. And what I then really love, theme music, I just really love it when just Gloria and Melman stands on the sail and he just says, I can't dance, and she just says, it is easy, Melman, and just their relationships get stronger, and I just love the relationship between Gloria and Melman. I also think it is so emotional because of this music, and the music is so emotional and touching, and therefore also this moment is touching when they just realize he can dance and he can make this, and there is his place on the sail with Gloria. Isn't this beautiful? So beautiful music. I just love this. It is also so touching and everything. Man, this music is very, very, very great. And just also shows his passion and everything. And oh my god, this is awesome music and an awesome score. And then we come to the song, the Love Ballad, with Love Always Comes as a Surprise. And yes, that is just... Also, I like this song. It is just for the Gia theme, and yes, I like this song. You don't need to close your eyes, 'cause soon but well, I now will not stay at this song, just at this song, and yeah, if you want to hear it full, click to the playlist. Here you just will hear some pieces, but maybe that's also enough for you, and I just hope you have a great soundtrack experience with this video. And yes, and we just have the scene when he says, okay, now let's go, because Dubois arrives, and they just say, let's go to the train. And just like we have also the typical Madagascar theme again in a very interesting variation, and we have also then of course the music when Vitaly goes again and sees all these rings, and then has this traumatic memory, which is very just also very great underlined with a great, really sad and touching music. This music tells so great the drama that is behind Vitaly, his sad backstory. Just this music underlines it very, very, very great. And then we have also the music later when they are then shortly before the great circus act. Then we have again Vitaly's theme, of course, when then Alex encourages Vitaly to do this, to do the impossible again. And this music then also has very much energy, and it's just so awesome, and also just shows the suspense. Will he make it now and everything? And then when he makes it, it is really very touching and great music. And yes, I really love also his theme, and now also in this, when then he makes it again, it is very great and so suspenseful at the beginning, and then so awesome when he finally succeeds. Also, this suspense is in this with the chorus and everything. It just it is so suspenseful in this moment. And then he has made it. Then we have this successful music in with Vitaly's great theme. I really think this score is amazing. And then we have Katy Perry's Fireworks song, of course, that is also just a very great song. And I just love that they use it for the circus act, but now I just won't play it because it is also nothing original from Madagascar 3, so yes. Then we have this London celebration when then Dubois appears again. There will let you hear again Dubois' variation, Dubois' theme in this variation when they put her into the cannon and then just shoot her out. I just also love this theme, think it is very funny. And then I just also love again the variation of her very cool theme. And it also underlines a bit the craziness also of the penguins. Crazy penguins versus crazy Dubois. And that is then this music for this. Yes, I think it is very cool. And then we have, of course, a bit sad music when they just, oh, you are now actually from the zoo. But I think this music now is not so emotional and so great. And then we also when Julian and Sonia break up, there we have also, also sad music and everything. But let's better move on now then to the final when they return back to New York. And then, yes, then they realize where they really belong to. This music has also this emotions just like, okay, now we have finally achieved our goal. Now we are back in the zoo. This is also such a great moment for the viewer, I think, who was always with the Madagascar films, and then they finally returned to the zoo. They always wanted to. And then, but still, they have this sad feeling because now they have left the circus and disappointed all them. Just now for returning to the zoo, but then also realizing that the zoo isn't their real home. I love these bells that you hear then at this moment, just like that is the bell of the zoo and they finally returned. But then also this emotional music just like underlining that they are now not so happy with this. They always wanted to return to the zoo, but now that they are really there, they realize this isn't our home. This is not where we really want to belong to. And just like, I love this moment, and this music again shows it so well with this typical Madagascar theme again. With this great flute, it sounds so beautiful and touching also, just like they are now sad with this. They're now, oh, there was always a wall between us and so on. I just love the scene so much, just like they have made this long journey just to realize that they don't really belong to the zoo, but somewhere else. And then it is a circus. You don't know where your journey at the end, you don't know where at the end you will really be. And just this movie shows it so well, and also this theme of the journey. Just, I don't know what I am in the future and last. Now, something like, what job will I have, what family and everything. Just, it is a bit like, if you try to interpret it is a bit and analyze it, then it is just something like, it wants to tell you, you don't know where at the end you are. Even though you are thinking, there at the end I really will be, at the end you maybe are somewhere completely different. And I just love it that the Madagascar movies a bit just tell this and show that. I think it is very clever and cool that they made it that in the end they belong to the zoo, to the circus, I'm sorry. Yes, and then we have, of course, Dubois returns and everything. And then we have the final climax when they are back in the zoo. And then we have this final battle in summer with Dubois. And I also love this music when everything is grey and they are just back in the zoo, but then realize that they don't want to be there. And this music in this moment is also very emotional and great. Shows so well how the animals feel in this moment, just like, oh, this is not where we want to be. I just like that this music is so. And then we come to the final last tracks with Dubois again. The crazy Dubois. With again, the last time we hear her awesome theme. And I just like Dubois very much as a villain, and yes, I just think she's very cool and great as a villain. Then she wants to, of course, with the venom, she wants to poison Alex, and I just also like this scene, and then the circus rescues them, and that is just very awesome and great action music again. And again, this just shows this instrument how crazy Dubois is. And then we come to great action music again for the rescue. I just like this action music. It is again very great and awesome just for the final with Dubois when they rescue them, and then yes, it is just very cool and great music fitting to all the action that then goes on in the final. Then of course also this music when then the circus comes to the rescue, and we hear again this ba 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 after circus, but you will hear. Even though the theme in some way sometimes is a bit annoying, I just also go with this little song at this moment, and I also just like it that they use it then. But one thing I really never understood, why are they then wearing all afros? What's all the sense of that they wear afros at this moment? If someone of you know, please tell me in the comments. And then we come to the last really musical cue when they rescue Stefano, and again great variations of the Dubois theme. And yes, it also underlines the suspense and the action of the scene, and yes, also that this is again a scene with Dubois. And yes, I just like her theme and everything, and yes, it is also a bit emotional and everything, and yes. And in the end, when they succeed, we have this great, successful music, when finally Alex defeats Dubois and Dubois herself turned into an animal. And with this, we are at the end of the score. Now, finally, we just have this Afro Circus and Move It song. Yes, and with that, now, we have finished the Madagascar score. So now, if you're interested and want the complete score, just click on the playlist I will link in the description, but this playlist just will come later, so you have a bit to wait till I have added the link to the playlist in the description, but you can also just normally search on YouTube Madagascar 3 complete score, and then you surely will find this if you search long enough. And so yes, it is just I just love now having this complete score, and I just want to say I love the scores of all Madagascar films, and I just think this intense music is just very great. It has the very touching moment, it has great action moments, it underlines a bit the funniness and the craziness of something in the Madagascar movies, and so the music is just perfectly made in my opinion. I also just love this journey theme, and I just like now that I have made this soundtrack journey with you, and now just you tell me, what do you think about this music, and also what do you think about this whole video? Please tell me in the comments, I'm very excited to read that. And yes, so I'm really looking forward to your feedback on the soundtrack, and what do you think about this music, and also the feedback to my video. Yes, and with that I just have to say thanks for watching, and yes, I'm really looking forward to your comments, and if you like this video, share it with your friends, and want to check out other videos of me. I've also made other soundtrack reviews, And yes, then I just have to say, if you like my videos, subscribe me, and yes, then I am really looking forward to your comments in the comment section. And yes, then just thanks that you watched this video. I hope you had a great soundtrack journey, and then just join me in my next review. And goodbye!